I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the roll.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Stompanato.
Here.
Shower.
Here.
Legansky.
Here.
Kenny. Gustafson.
Here.
Belzak.
Here.
6 present and 1 absent.
We have a quorum. It brings us to questions and comments of announcements of a general nature. Since there is no one in the audience, we'll move on to item 6, which will be approval of the minutes of May 15th, 2023. I'd like a motion to approve. Alderman Shower, seconded by Alderman Legansky. Any questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Shower.
Aye.
Legansky.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Stompanato.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Abstain.
I have 5 ayes, 1 abstention, and 1 absent.
The minutes have been approved. It takes us to receiving of communications. Do any of the aldermen have communications for the council? Alderman Legansky.
Thank you, Mayor. I actually have 3. The first one, Dan, from a Nick Pullman, 610 79th Street. There's a city tree with a huge limb that goes completely over his driveway, and he's concerned just that it's may come down.
Okay. 610 79th Street?
Yes. And then second, Fred Jeffers, 7929 Farmingdale. They replaced the water main or valve on his driveway, and when they cut out a section, that whole section is sinking, and it's causing cracks in his whole driveway now.
Right. If
From
it's is it a concrete driveway, I presume, right there, right? So it's going to be targeted for removal and replacement, and what we do is we'll go out there prior to look at the condition of the rest of the apron. In typical cases where we have a water restoration, we will replace the entire apron and or sidewalk. Otherwise, we have mismatches, starting from day number 1, and more hazards that'll be created later on.
Yeah, it's just from the sidewalk to the street, it's just starting to form some cracks from
Okay.
where that piece was cut out.
And
So-
if we need to put temporary stone in there, our concrete vendor is in town right now. We're currently working on all the road rehab sections, but then we're going to start to come picking up those miscellaneous
Okay.
ones.
Thank you.
So if you want to, we'll check it out. If there's any settling, you want to get back to the resident that's not forgotten about, and
That's fine.
all right, we appreciate
Thank you.
that.
I was actually walking in Lyle, and I saw a lot of sidewalks where they did that shaving down,
Grinding.
grinding down. It looked great, and at a cost savings, I kind of like the idea of that.
Quotes look great. Okay, I'll remember that one, Jerry.
Instead of replacing an entire
No, it's
section.
again. It's a matter of aesthetics, and,
Yeah.
I've seen it go. I've seen it
it
commented
was-
both ways.
you could tell it was newly done because it was whiter, but I got to think over time it's going to start to
Yeah,
blend
the
in.
aggregate is exposed, so that's the real problem, but we're gonna take that wait and see approach and
Okay.
see what all the comments are from elected officials.
And then third, I got from Vito Labate regarding the High Haven, that the requirement of it being outside of 1,600 feet from a school or a daycare center.
There's no regulation with regard to
No?
distance from a school. There's only a regulation between they can't advertise within 1,500 feet of another marijuana store.
Okay.
They can't advertise within, I forgot what it was, I believe it's 1,000 feet,
Yeah.
that there's no advertising and
There's
advertising.
no,
is-
because he showed, I should have brought it, but he had a thing listed, and one of the things was 1,600 feet from a school or
No,
a,
that's not, that
or a
doesn't.
daycare center.
It doesn't refer to that, and I'm not sure if, it might be the cultivation center that he might be looking at, not the actual retail section, yes.
Dan, do you recall, there was a difference between the, Plan Commission and City Council? I don't remember if that was one of the issues that changed.
That was one of the issues. That was something
Correct.
that was initially proposed, but it was not, it's not state law, it's just something that was discussed as a requirement or proposed as something that Darien would enforce. and then that didn't pass. So, yeah, so it's not a universal rule in Illinois.
All right, anyone else have communications? Eric?
Yeah, I had communications from 2 residents asking about the status of DuPage County's road work at 87th and Haven Drive. I contacted Kent Cooper, the DuPage County Senior Project Manager, and on May 25th, he sent me an email indicating that we've directed the contractor to do what is needed in order to get that intersection open. This would include paving the portion before 87th Street is ready to be paved and would result in additional cost to the taxpayers. I expect this will be done by early next week. I went by there Friday. It was getting close to being done. I sent him an email today to find out the status, and I'm waiting for his response.
Anything else, sir?
Eric, I'm sorry, Eric, to your
Yep.
point there was a significant gas hit there last
Yep,
week.
that's
So
correct. Right.
it may postpone things. I know they had to replace some infrastructure in Nicor.
But they're getting close. That intersection compared to the others is totally, completely different.
Mary?
Thank you, Mayor. I did receive a communication, or was copied on a series of communications by resident Kelly Glisson, who was in communication with Administrator Vanna and different members of the LRS team regarding a rental property he has on Oldfield Road that he was under the impression resided in Downers Grove because it has a Downers Grove address, but is technically part of Darien. So a lot of conversations back and forth, but we did get resolution. There were some outstanding charges. I just wanted to thank Administrator Vanna for staying on top of that, and for the LRS team elevating that and getting back to him and making a resolution. I also did get a call from Linda Painter. She's not a Darien resident, but she is our DuPage County Forest Preserve Commissioner, and she did express a safety concern about some fencing and maybe reworking some things over at the Bona Beef Rainbow Cone patio area, eating outside area. And so I know I sent an email out, and Dan is reaching out to the owners, the Bonaventos, and seeing if, some, just to avoid concerns. I know when we allow that to be put in, we did give a little bit of a leeway and easement reduction to the sidewalk. So we just don't want any kids running out onto the middle of Cass Avenue.
Alderman Stompanato sent an email out this afternoon basically saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
In fact, he was over there with Linda having
Yeah,
dinner.
yeah, yeah.
And
So.
there was a family that actually moved inside.
They
because
moved inside. They were concerned. Their little boy was, running around. It's a nice area for kids to play. And consistently, he would go out the gate. Didn't go past the sidewalk, but the parents were a little bit concerned. And they have the opening that enters a path that leads up to the sidewalk. A gate, if they put a gate on there that you'd have to open with a latch, would solve the problem.
Okay. Maybe we can look at the.
Yeah, Dan's already,
Dan's gonna
yeah,
look at it,
Dan,
too?
between my communication and Ralph's, Dan's already reached out.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Anyone else? All right. Takes us to the mayor's report, and there's no mayor's report. Takes us to city clerk's report. Joanne?
And there is no clerk's report.
And it takes us to a city administrator's report.
No report, Mayor. I'd be happy to answer any questions if anybody has.
Is there,
Anyone?
are we going to have a July 3rd meeting?
We haven't in the past. We've canceled it in
No,
the past.
unofficially, we'll be canceling it. I just haven't talked to Greg.
Okay. So
and
like by
Dan
the
yet.
next meeting, we'll know.
Right.
Yeah, probably
Okay.
by next couple of days. We'll
Okay.
just check on items.
Okay, thank you.
All right. That takes us to department head information questions. Any questions for either Mr. Gombeck or for the chief, or do they have reports they'd like to present?
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Greg?
No report, but after a long time trying to get the data correct, the monthly report is finished. I submitted it to Brian. He gave me a couple edits where I erred on some stuff, and we'll get that done and present it at the police committee and the full city council next meeting.
Chief, maybe I misunderstood. You said monthly, annual report. Maybe I misheard.
I'm sorry. It's an annual
Annual
report, not a
report,
monthly
yes.
report.
Just for information, our next newsletter that's going to go out, I think we're emphasizing public safety. I know my mayor's article is all about our police department and the service they provide to our community. I think Mr. Vanna will have a summary of Greg's report in there as well. So whereas the last one dealt with the business community within the city of Darien, this one will deal with public safety. All right, Treasurer's report, Mike.
Thank you, Mayor. This evening, I'm requesting council's approval of warrant number 222327 in the amount of $15,568.26 from the listed funds, which is probably one of the lowest warrants I've ever requested.
I wish they were all that low.
Yeah. Nice to see.
Wait for the next one.
Motion to approve.
No,
So, Alderwoman Sullivan, seconded by Alderman Shower. Any questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
Stompanato,
Aye.
Legansky,
Aye.
Gustafson,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 absent.
The warrant's been approved. Mike?
Now for the real world warrant number 232403 in the amount of $224,736.48 from the listed funds, and payroll for the period ended May 18th of 23 and June 1st of 23 in the amount of $568,648.03 for a total to be approved of $793,384.51.
Motion to approve. Alderwoman Sullivan, seconded by Alderman Shower. And again, any questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
Gustafson,
Aye.
Legansky,
Aye.
Stompanato,
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 absent.
And that warrant's been approved. Takes us to standing committee reports. Do any of the chairmen have reports for the council? Mary?
As we talked in pre-council, the administrative finance meeting was taking place tonight, and we unanimously supported 2 items on the agenda tonight: the upgrade of the city's firewall and the electricity supply and related services aggregation program. So those have passed 3-0, and we will have our next meeting pending, if we do have a meeting, on Monday, July 3rd at 6 p.m.
Thank you. Alderman Belzak?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Municipal Services Committee met this evening, and we approved the May minutes. At this time, we're not scheduling another meeting for June, and so right now, tentatively, the next meeting is July 24 at 6 p.m. in council chambers.
Thank you. Do we have any knowledge of our police committee?
I do.
Mary?
The next scheduled police committee meeting, if there are agenda items, is scheduled for Monday, June 19th at 6 p.m. in the police department training room.
Thank you. That takes us to questions and comments, agenda related. I think we covered a lot of this in our work session tonight, and we have no one in our audience. That'll take us to old business. There being none, takes us to our consent agenda, and just as a reminder, everything that's on our new business agenda has been moved to our consent agenda, so please bear with me. Item A, resolution approving a sign easement agreement for the purpose of constructing a marquee sign, enhanced hardscaping, landscaping, maintenance, and specified responsibility at 7702 Cass Avenue. Item B, an ordinance granting a series of variations to allow the construction of a marquee sign with electronic message boards at 7702 Cass Avenue. Item C, a resolution approving of a plat of easement for 7702 Cass Avenue. Item D, a resolution waiving the competitive bid process and awarding a proposal to Belmont Digital Incorporated for the purchase of 3 38-inch by 114-inch marquee panels and required data infrastructure, including data management, subscription-based, and structural steel supports and installation in an amount not to exceed $81,635. Item E, a resolution waiving the competitive bid process and awarding a proposal for the professional design and installation services to the Savannah Group for supplying the required materials and installation services as it relates to the column hardscaping, irrigation, landscaping, materials, and general restoration within the easement area adjacent to the marquee sign structure in an amount not to exceed $33,184. Item F, a motion authorizing certain infrastructure improvements to be completed by the Municipal Services Department in an amount not to exceed $33,000. Item G, a motion to recommend zoning ordinance revisions creating a mixed-use zoning district to the Planning and Zoning Commission for public hearing and commission review. Item H, a resolution accepting a proposal from Season Comfort Corporation for the removal and replacement of the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system at City Hall in an amount not to exceed $18,275. Item I, an ordinance authorizing the sale of personal property owned by the City of Darien. Item J, a resolution accepting a proposal from EJ Equipment for a lease agreement of a Vector truck at the proposed unit price and not to exceed $72,250. Item K, a resolution approving the purchase of a water valve exerciser from EA Watch for a total amount not to exceed $131,250. Item L, a motion approving the striping and tool storage bins for the water valve exerciser not to exceed $3,250. Item M, a resolution accepting the proposal of subscription weather information system sensors from Frost Solutions LLC in an amount not to exceed $19,600. Item N, resolution authorizing the purchase of the following items. Coates Max 80220 tire changer, Coates 15003DA tire balancer, Coates 800-525 wheel lift to balancer, Coates 113277C light truck cone kits, Coates 56-10104 pin plate, Tiger Tool King pin press from Napa Auto Parts in an amount not to exceed $26,685. At first, when I read that, I thought I was buying coats. I don't know. Item P. Item O. A motion authorizing staff and vendors to complete specific safety tasks and landscape restoration at 1640 Royal Oak Drive in an amount not to exceed a total project cost of $26,500. Item P. Resolution accepting a proposal from the Hidden Gardens for the purchase of 45-foot high green winter arborvitaes to be placed at 1640 Royal Oak Drive in an amount not to exceed $8,325. Item Q, a resolution accepting a proposal from Peerless Fence for the fence materials and installation of vinyl-covered 3-foot high cyclone fence at 1600 block fronting Frontage Road in an amount not to exceed $9,240. Item R, a resolution accepting a proposal from Superior Road Striping Incorporated at the proposed unit prices in an amount not to exceed $20,000 for the 2023 street striping program. Item S, a resolution authorizing the purchase and deploying a web-based permitting, licensing, and code enforcement software with OpenGov Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $43,405. Item T, a motion authorizing staff to proceed with the Clarendon Hills Crosswalk pedestrian signal project, Clarendon Hills Road at Hinsdale South High School in an amount not to exceed $56,200. Item U, a resolution accepting a proposal from TAPCO for the purchase of 2 pedestrian crosswalk signalization system for the crosswalk applications at Clarendon Hills Road at Hinsdale South High School in an amount not to exceed $23,147.68. Item V, a resolution accepting a proposal from Apex Industrial Automation LLC for the removal, rebuilding, and installation of 4 pumps at plant number 2 and 75th Street in an amount of $15,287. What was that, Joanne? V?
W now.
W, a motion approving a contingency in amount of $14,000 due to unforeseen deficiencies or causing damages that may be discovered during the overhauling of the pumps. Item X, a resolution authorizing the purchase of the Phase 2 logger program consisting of 146 leak logger units from Gutterman Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $219,191.70. Item V.
Yep.
You got item Y, I'm sorry.
You want this?
Yeah, let me have that. Item Y, a resolution authorizing for a memorandum of understanding agreement of the Route 66 Community Monument sign for the location at 1000 North Frontage Road with a one-time financial partnership investment of $300 payable to Heritage Corridor Convention and Visitors Bureau. Item Z, a motion authorizing staff to install the Route 66 monument in an amount not to exceed $2,300. Item AA.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry, that's 2,600. That's the one we just edited earlier, please.
2,000, okay, correction, $2,600. Item AA, a resolution accepting a proposal from the Hidden Gardens in an amount not to exceed $10,100 from replacement plants at cities' entranceway signs. Item BB, resolution accepting a proposal from J.C. Landscaping and Tree Services in an amount not to exceed $11,400 for the planting and placement of outcropping stone. Item CC, a motion to approve a contingency in the amount of $4,000 for compost, topsoil, additional plantings, and labor costs as they would relate to the enhancement for the project of the 2023 Landscape Maintenance ROW. Item DD, a resolution accepting a proposal from Monroe Truck Equipment for the purchase of snowplow equipment package, lighting accessories, and hydraulic controls for the 2022 Ford F-450 model in an amount not to exceed $26,792. Item FF, a motion authorizing the mayor to accept a proposal for AIS Incorporated for the upgrade and replacement of the city's firewalls, including labor in an amount not to exceed $32,792. And item GG, a resolution authorizing the mayor to approve an agreement with MC Squared Energy Services, LLC, to provide full requirements of electricity supply and related services for the city's electric aggregation program. Motion to approve. Alderman
job.
Shower, seconded by Alderman Belzak, and the roll.
Shower.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Legansky.
Aye.
Stompanato.
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 absent.
The consent agenda has been approved. That takes us to our questions and comments and announcements of a general nature. Does anyone have anything, again, they want to share? Mary?
Just a reminder, I think everybody received their information about the 4th of July parade and participating in it. The paperwork is due, I know, in a couple weeks in June. It's always a great event to participate in as an elected official. And so get prepared to participate, order your candy or whatever you plan to share with the crowds. Also, the Darien concert series will kick off at the end of this month on Thursday, June 29th, and it is on the last Thursday of July in August. But the first one is June 29th. The group is Beyond the Blonde. It'll be at Carriage Greens, and I think it'll be a really fun night. We had great attendance, great weather, great gatherings last year, and I'm only expecting it to be better this year. And then I know, Mayor, you have your Darien Action Committee meeting on this Saturday, June 10th, correct?
Correct. We have our Community Action Committee. We will be doing, continuing our planning for our Oktoberfest. We're also going to be planning an activity which I'll share with you briefly. As many of you know, the Andy Warhol exhibit is taking place at the College of DuPage this summer. It started last Friday, it goes through into September. Communities were asked to promote the Warhol exhibit, and one of the ways that communities can do that is by selecting pictures of 4 individuals who had an impact on the Darien community. Those pictures would be sent in, and they would be, quote, Warholed, and then they would be displayed in a prominent location. We have chosen 4 individuals for that. We chose Mr. Sam Kelly, one of our founding fathers of the Darien, and the gentleman who selected the name Darien. We've chosen Mr. Chris Sant, who was a great humanitarian, both in India, here and in the United States. Also was one of the founding fathers of the Darien Lions Club. We've selected Mr. Fred Anderman, who goes back to the 1800s, who was was the founding father of the Cass area in the city of Darien. And for our fourth selection, we selected Joey Ventimiglia. Joey was a little boy, 7-year-old little boy who had a rare form of brain cancer. And the way Joey fought that and the way his family worked with him to fight that made Joey a real example of bravery. I mean, this little boy would bring tears to your eyes to talk to him and be with him, but he was a wonderful kid. And all four of those pictures, and I've seen them all, and they've been, quote, Warholed, will be exhibited at the Indian Prairie Library. I've talked to Laura, I think it's Birmingham or Burlingame, and she and I are meeting Friday, and what we're going to do is we're going to display them in the windows of the library so they can be seen by the public. And we're going to have a ceremony at the library with families of Mr. Kelly, Mr. Sant, the Andermans. There are still Andermans floating around that we'll have there, and we'll have Joey's mom and dad there. So when that date arrives, when we've set a date, when Laura and I have set a date for that, we will let you know, and we will invite everybody. But it's really exciting. And if you see these pictures, it's really fun to see Sam Kelly Warhol. I mean,
I can't wait to see that one.
but it's our way of participating in this Andy Warhol event. And again, it's taking place at College of DuPage. If you get a chance to go out there, there's over 90 pieces of original art that are being displayed. So that's it for me. Anything else? If none, motion to adjourn. Alderman Shower, seconded by Alderman Belzak. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, folks.